AI is not just affecting the marketplace, it's reshaping a lot of spaces today.
Okay.
For the majority of people, millions of individuals to billions around the world, this is how we have come to use these tools. But AI has passed that stage of being an assistant to being a multiplier. If you want the true leverage of AI, you need to set up systems that can run autonomously. You can be in the most chaotic environment and also build another environment around you. Where do you spend most of your time? Who do you spend most of your time with? What do you listen to? Failure for many people is an identity issue. When you plan and you continue planning without executing, there is no risk of failure.
Correct.
But the moment you introduce execution, you bring the probability of either failing or succeeding.
Correct.
And then one thing for people about failure is that they see it as a threat to their identity.
More than 50% of you watching right now haven't subscribed yet to this channel. And I'd like you to do me a favor. Please subscribe now. It is how we continue to bring you the latest education on psychology and well-being so you can become the best at what God has created you to become. And it's also how YouTube recommends this video to more people and a bigger audience. So please do us this favor, subscribe now and share this video. Mr. Chuks Abanum, welcome to the Ulab show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's good to be here.
Yes, so good to have you on this episode. And I'd like to begin this episode again this way. You have been involved in designing and running of several businesses across Africa. So I'd like to begin this way, from Olili Food to Vent Africa, which is like the most recent, okay? I'd love to go back to the beginning. Who is Chuks Abanum beyond the titles? And how did your journey into business start? Okay, what were some of the early struggles you faced as a young person, trying to find or start business in Nigeria and Africa? And what lessons had those experiences made in, defining the pursuit you are even doing today?
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good to be here. So, my name is Chuks Abanum. I'm
Great.
a software engineer and a business person. I've been building softwares for the past 10 years professionally.
Okay.
And I also own multiple businesses. You named Olili Food, you named Vent, you named Izo,
Okay.
you named DTH, and a lot of them.
Okay.
I work with a team of amazing people. Yes, still did. So, what was my journey? I think it was born out of curiosity.
Interesting.
Curiosity to create value through digital tools.
Okay.
And first of all, I found mobile phones to be one of those tools, dating back 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yes. And after that, I got opportunity to also interact with a computer. And while the basic works of computer were going on, I met some very good people who I saw what they were doing, really creating what I now call today real value, real impact with computers. And I wanted to be that person. So I kept asking myself questions, just being curious, going out there to, want to know what it really means to build with just from my laptop.
Okay.
So that's how I basically started. And the other questions of my struggles, I think it's a lot. I can't mention all, but one of my struggles is the environment. Being in an environment where the way people are using these systems is not the way I probably have perceived to use it.
Okay.
I want to create value, but most of the people around me were just consumers of existing products. So, building or doing something that you don't find your peer doing around can be sometimes discouraging.
Okay.
But I continued anyway. And also back in school, I was opportune to meet people. I finally found people that are in this field, that are doing these things. And then I followed up. I had mentors, people I look up to, people I want to learn their pathway. And that really catapulted me to a very big height. And I built real skills that, have values, and that has been the foundation ever after.
So you met people, then mentors who helped along the way. So did your early training, are you a software engineer? Okay, like you said, you're a software engineer, right? So
Yes.
you had early training in computer science that prepared you for this skills development that you stacked up later. What happened?
Yeah, so my curiosity around computer came way before I gained admission into higher institutions.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, I had this thing to play around computers, see what I can really
Figure out a way.
explore, what I can build using computers.
Mm-hmm.
Then getting into school, I can say school provided me this environment to meet wonderful people,
Okay.
but I can readily attribute what I learned in school as one of the major thing that, really pushed me further in my career. But yes, I'm also grateful that I was in that environment where I could meet people and also connect with them going forward.
So I want to find out what role your education, maybe your formal education, like university, played in skill and capacity development, okay, to what you are doing today. What was the role? What was the link like?
Yeah, so for my education, I think one of the most important things I
Yeah.
can still remember and give gratitude to
Yeah.
school is the environment that it provided for me.
Okay.
So I was able to really meet people.
Yeah.
And also, whether we agree or not, there's just this foundation, this intellectual foundation that school has to bring to you, no
Okay.
matter how bad we may see it, some of the institutions
Okay.
over here. So it did play a good role in connecting me with people. It did play a good role in also, putting me in line with what is possible.
So, Mr. Chuks, from Olili Food to Hizo and now Vent Africa, what is the thinking like? How do you go from problem finding to research, then to building and marketing and branding and publishing and going to the market? How have you been able to do all these? These are just a few of your businesses. You have multiple other tech startups and maybe other businesses to do. How are you able to go from problem finding to building something real quickly that the market wants?
Yeah, so building is tough. Yes, unlike what people would think. Building is tough.
Okay.
So, but while I don't exactly want to explain how all of this work, I want to look at the foundation of how it's even possible to do two businesses at a time.
Okay.
And all of that comes from leverage.
Okay.
So there was a time where I had to build alone, where I'm the engineer, I'm the customer support, I'm the researcher, I'm the marketer, everything. And then there came a time where we needed to build healthy partnership, healthy relationship.
Okay.
So I had founders, co-founders who are into business. Some of them understand operations clearly.
Okay.
And while I focused on my engineering.
Okay.
So when we started one of the companies, when we started Olili Food, I had my co-founder be the business person.
Okay.
All of our business talks, bring in partners, integrators. We did that because he was there.
Okay.
Everything that has to do with engineering, building the software, building the team, I handle that.
Okay.
So with that, we also understood that things can only run if we build a system without us.
Correct.
So we started first without even understanding what the system is anyway. But we got to a point where we hit the ceiling. And we knew that the next big thing for us to move from this level to another height, we really need a system. And that system means we have to trust people with what we have set. We have to trust the process and we have to trust the products that these things are going to work.
Okay.
And we started building that, the hardest thing to do is to build people, to build trust in people. You need to equip those people first.
Yeah.
And then before you build trust. So it's something we started early. So I had a team of engineers that would work with me, and then we built that. Over time, we'll just see that this company already, because we have a system, is running on autopilot, and we can readily move on to another thing while still supporting the backbone of that particular business. So from one point to another, we kept building businesses, and then it's the businesses we built. it was not really difficult for us to multitask, be here and there, because the problems were first ours. We were not imagining things.
Okay.
You know, for Olili food, as bachelors, we needed a way to order food.
Okay.
So, and we live in a very remote place where if anybody has to if you have to get out of your house, it's very difficult. So we needed a way to get food to our doorstep.
Okay.
And we built Olili food. For Vents, we had people, Nigerians abroad, who want to send money home. And the way to do that was very, very difficult. You know, so I mean, you worked in the banking sector and you knew 5 years ago how difficult it is, right? So, but you know, crypto opened this cross-border channel to everybody, and then it had little barrier to entry. Regulatory compliance were not really a big thing around it, so we leveraged that. And the more we solve this problem the manual way, the more people came to us to still solve the problems. I mean, let's build a product around this. So over time, we gathered the information, and 2021, we launched that product.
Okay.
Going to ISO, because we're in tech, we need to be around like minds. We go for tech conferences all over the world, and in Africa especially, from West Africa to East Africa, you find us there. So one of those times, we're in Nairobi and we could not spend our money. We had Naira, but there was no way. Anytime our friend, who is an indigent there, is out, we are stranded. We can't even think of stepping out. You know, this guy has to be with us for us to do anything. And we asked ourselves, what if we can spend our Naira in our bank account over here?
Anywhere in Africa.
Or anywhere in Africa. At least then, we didn't even want to solve the whole problem, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we just wanted to solve. In Nairobi, what should we do? We're not even thinking about the whole of Kenya anyways, but we knew if we had to solve spending Naira in Kenyan shillings, obviously you would solve it for even most countries around that area. And that gave birth to ISO. So it's been a journey of, I have a partner that is going to share in my madness, but I tell people business is crazy, right? And so with that also, I had these people around me who just think the way I think. We find problems. We are close to problem. Our proximity to most of these problems we are very close to them. So we perceive these problems, and instead of us to grudge over them, we start looking for ways to solve those problems if it is within something our reach to solve, right? And when we solve those problems manually first, the next big thing is to see to it, is it something that can be turned into a business? So we need to validate it. Not all problem generally can be a business. You can solve a problem, and then it's not just market fit for people. Like people won't pay for that, right? But it's a problem. And I had these people around me, my co-founders, and we just said, come on, let's do this. And we have this shared interest to create value. We know that if we solve a problem, if we give value to the people, they are definitely going to pay for it. If we give value to the people the way they want to perceive this as a value, they're going to pay for it. So, so what can you bring to the table? I'm a business person. What about you? I'm an engineer. What about you? I can run operations. All right, let's team up together. And we started building. So it's same story for every business that has succeeded today. And why I say every business, before now, we had this thing where we perceive an idea, a problem around, and we want to provide a solution. And I don't know if we were actually after the title of being a CEO anyway.
Okay.
Right? Okay. But it happens that we want to be everything.
Yeah.
So you find your friend or just people around you that could really contribute to your business, that could help you package this, even for the first version and MVP to customers. But you don't want to bring those people in. Maybe you are concerned about intellectual property theft. What are you why are you the question is, why were we even concerned about that? Because these businesses are worth next to nothing. And the idea is that I tell people over the course of doing business and building these startups, I've come to understand that like for most of our ideas, they are not really novel. The novelty around what we do is in execution.
Yes.
And that execution is what most people never get to because they are just maybe stuck in planning forever. So yeah, that's how we started, and it's been beautiful all along. We love what we do. We just do it, and everybody has their strength. We come together, tell ourselves the truth, and just move from there.
And you said something very interesting. You said when you find people who you kind of resonate with in something, building the business or system becomes quite easier and simpler somehow. That's what I'm inferring from what you said. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
And for these businesses, how did you know it will make money? Because for something might sound interesting, almost like you said, but it might not have the capacity to make money.
Yeah.
So how do you validate that this business can make money? Is there any formal way you do that, or when until you test it in the market?
Yeah, so now I can say there is a framework I could probably develop and follow, right?
Okay.
But when we started, with my co-founder, we were doing something right without really readily having a theory around it.
Okay.
But we were definitely doing something right. So my co-founder is this kind of pushy guy.
Okay.
I am the guy that wants to be perfect.
Yeah.
And he would let's push this. I'm not like,
wait until he's
one more thing. One more thing. I want to do one more thing.
Okay.
And he said, no, we are pushing this out. So I remember 2020, just before the COVID, was everywhere. We had Ulab food. We've been developing it since 2019.
Okay.
But that go-to-market was a very big problem for us.
Okay.
And this is the first startup that we're actually building like a startup.
Okay.
We didn't want to have everything. One of the things we decided early in the stage is that we are not going to build this product from scratch.
Okay.
So we got on some platform, bought a software, modified it, hosted it, and started monitoring things from there. So you don't want to build too much. You don't want to spend so much time on a product and resources just to find out that customers don't want it, or that is not how they want it. So you want to go to the market early enough.
Okay.
So your first set of products are basically your feedback. Okay. It's your feedback system.
Yeah.
So yes, your product would always continue to be a sort of feedback, right? But at those first early stages, it's very important for you to look closely to what people are telling you. Right. So when we pushed, we deployed to the market. We got like second-hand bikes.
Okay.
And we just moved. It's our plan showed that we were going to buy a new bike, but we didn't have the money to buy a new bike. So we just got a few bikes, got people, interviewed people, and then we had to fly with the idea. As much as you think you can plan or you know what you are doing, I mean, just get to the market first and and you're going to find out if truly that's what people want. And that point where we launched Ulab food changed everything for us. It changed. It really validated that there's a way to build products. You cannot get it right at first. And no matter how smart you are, no matter how well you think you've thought that through, the market will reshape your product entirely. In most cases, the market, you will even find out that you have to completely pivot. So when we had that product, we went to the market, and the product was about the way it organizes items. It has to be packaged. It's kind of a software that you use to order for fast food. Not the one that someone will tell you, hey, I need 1 beef, then 3 eggs, and 1.5 portion of plantain. You don't get that flexibility. But that's how people have been ordering food. They have riders, they send riders, they give them specifications of how they. So everybody wants their food delivered in a certain way. But the software we got, they didn't show that, and all of the materials we could have probably gotten read online during our research would have still been something, from the West on how these packagings are done
there.
But right here, it is completely different. So you just cannot borrow those ideas. But going to the market with what existed, it cut short the resources we could have spent,
Yeah.
cut short the time we could have spent, building on something that people really don't want.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is when you spend so much time
Yeah.
building, and then people are trying to feed you with new set of instructions on how it should be, you become hesitant to change
Because
easily.
of what you've
Right?
invested.
Yes, because it's sort of a sunk cost.
Yes.
In Annie Duke talked about it
Yes.
in his book with, there's, if you spend so much time on something already, it is harder for you to quit because you're already leaning on how much effort, resources that you have put in. And why should I quit now? Why should I not just try one more time,
Yeah.
my own way, if this is
Yeah.
going to work? And before you see it, the next thing is that you are out of cash
Yeah.
and you're out of business.
Yes. Once
And
you run out of cash, you run out of
you
business.
run out of business and you are done. And then customers don't care about you really.
Yeah.
They move on to the next big thing.
Yeah.
Right. And one big issue with that is that you might as well pioneer something really good,
Okay.
but when you run out of business, you just see the next products come up and learn from all your mistakes and just do the
take
thing.
off from there.
And even if you have the resources to pick up before you are back, the pioneer now, you start to fight as a new entrant in the market
Correct.
against these other people, which is not a very good advantage for you.
Yes.
So yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so from your experience building businesses, what do you think are the peculiar challenges Nigerians face when starting a business or scaling it to something sustainable?
There's a lot of challenges, right? And from my experience,
Yes.
really, I would say it's in trust.
Trust.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you are building a business, in my companies, I always tell them that the 3 critical things we have is, first of all, the people.
Yes.
Then we have the product
Yes.
and the process.
Okay.
Those are the 3 P's for me.
Yeah.
So you need people to trust you. When you are starting an idea, it's from nothing. It's worth nothing. No matter how you want to pose the pitch deck,
Yes.
it's still worth nothing anyways. Right? And you want people to believe that this is going to be worth something.
Correct.
And your first set of employees, which starting from you are the first. If you're a solopreneur, for example, and you get people on board maybe much later to build to make it a real full company,
Yeah.
you need those people to share in your ideas. And for people to share in your ideas, they have to trust the idea.
Correct.
They have to trust the person behind it. And before we had our first successful startup, that was the biggest challenge. If I'm talking to this person, is this person coming on board because of what I've promised, or is coming on board because he trusts that I'm not going to waste your time, that we're going to build this product to something substantial, to something that will sell in the global stage?
Yeah.
Is this something that person is believing? So getting the right people is a very big problem. And if you miss out on the right people, you won't get any other thing right. Trust me. You won't get any other thing right. The people is the first thing. I tell my staff, I value you guys a lot. I take active part in making sure that they develop themselves. I push you. You cannot be in my team and not be a trailblazer. It's not possible. We take part in developing, because every other thing, the product, the process, these people are going to be there.
Correct.
There's always human in the loop in all of these processes.
Yes.
So if you don't build these people, they are going to fall down to whatever it becomes. You can build a very good product and you have very poor people managing it, and it's going to die off. You can have a good product and a bad process, or a good process and then you have people also, they are going to mess up with the process. The moment you turn your back, people
Everything
are
collapse.
doing something different. And you don't want to build a business without leverage. You want to build leverage on people, you want to build leverage on the product, and you want to build leverage on the process. That's the only way you can, truly scale this business without your involvement.
Interesting ideas, leverage, people. So you are saying that people, process even comes first, even before money or capital.
You need capital to, when you are starting,
Because why I said that
Okay.
is that when you ask the average Nigerian on the street, why are you not doing stuff? Why have you not started your business? The first problem is I don't have access to money. I don't have access to capital, because that's what we hear mainly from people as barriers to starting. So I'm asking whether, in your own opinion, capital is even listed on the agenda.
Yeah, so Navarro he said that one of the things that create leverage in this world today is we have capital, we have code, which is softwares, and then we have the media. Now, where is the capital? You may not have the capital, but someone else has the capital.
Sure.
So the people. So you can have someone truly believe in you that wants to push the product for you. When I tell about the story of how Olili Food succeeded as our first startup, truly that we'll call the startup because it made it to the people's hand. We had tens of products that never came out alive, right? Yes.
Many didn't make it.
Tens of them didn't make it before then, right? Yeah, so we didn't just start with Olili Food and, this is not. Tens of product did not make it alive. But Olili Food, we got something right because we had individual strengths. I didn't have money really to start running Olili Food or building a product. In short, what I did a week before my co-founder called me to talk about Olili Food, I wanted to meet food vendors, and build the softwares for them because I was freelancing then. I built products for, businesses, companies, and So he called me, said, I have this idea. It's a food delivery company, He tried to explain it. I'm like, really? Do you know that
I've been thinking about the same thing?
I was already done with the document I was going to present to some of the food vendors. The only thing that was remaining for me was to print. And then he called. So I told him I had this idea. In short, I had to, talk his chips. I had to just show him what I've already done. Like, look at the documents in my phone. We already set to even print and meet these vendors the next week. And he said, wow, that is good. So instead of us selling it this way, why not we own a business in the chain, in the food delivery chain, right? Which will comprise of you making the food as a vendor, aggregating restaurants, and then the delivery. We can take up aggregating the restaurants and the delivery while we leave the food vendors to continue their businesses. I said, that's a good idea. And that's how we started. Now, when we started, I will tell you for sure, my co-founder who called me up for this also, he has saved up a little capital to get started. So the capital we talk about so much is in people's end. Sometimes we are not ready for collaboration. The greater things that we can achieve in this life must come from healthy collaboration.
Correct.
It must come from healthy collaboration. You don't have the money. I didn't have the money to build those products. In short, maybe that is why my thought process was still leaned around being a freelancer, going to meet these people so that they will give me money to build the products, right? But for him, he can't build the product as an engineer, but he has the idea and he knows how to run it as a business. So he brought his resources, his ideas, we teamed up together, we'll be awake day and night, trying to figure out how this is going to work. And that's how we did it. So the money you are looking for, the capital you are looking for, is in somebody's pocket. Are you really ready to partner with these persons to bring the solution to life? Absolutely. Or you want to own...
You want to be the CEO.
You want to be the CEO, own 100% of a company that is worth nothing? It's a question that's...
I think I like that.
We really have to ask ourselves.
Do you want to own part, or you want to be CEO of something worth nothing?
Yeah.
A very interesting question. So it seemed to me that the capacity to figure things out is a learned experience. Okay, being able to look at something and somehow figure out how you can go around it is not an easy task. So are some people just better at figuring out this uncertainty, or is it a learned experience?
I have to, I want to answer it in two parts.
Okay.
First of all, I would acknowledge that some persons are talented in some things, in doing some things.
Okay.
But that does not take away the part of uncertainty that comes with doing.
Correct.
So, and some persons, they get to find themselves in places maybe they don't have any passion or interest in, and they just have to struggle along with it. that does also mean that if you stay long enough and practice it, that you are not going to figure out things. You are definitely going to figure out things. So the uncertainty part of it is the most important part. When you do things repeatedly over a period of time, you are definitely going to get an answer. There's a popular saying these days that a moving man will meet his luck. Or a man in motion will definitely meet his luck.
Correct.
So that motion is you waking up every day, trying out something new repeatedly. As an engineer, I will tell you, it is crazy. Years ago, and even till date, you get to encounter errors while you are building a solution, and that error could just mean a semicolon
100%.
that is missing.
Yes.
And then you have to debug that for hours. You get frustrated, you go to bed. The next day, you wake up, and with so much clarity, your brain is more organized. It has subconsciously rearranged the information you have fed it over time. And you just get to find the answer.
100%.
Now, why you do that? First of all, your brain rewires to taking up that challenge, to not giving up when you find such issues. Sometimes, just in my career, I've come to find out that when I'm in some of those deep, challenges, I go to bed. I try as much as possible to solve it. If I can't, I let it go. Sometimes I can go and play a video game. Let my brain rest. Let my brain just try to organize all it has learned within this period. And I would come back to it. Now, over time, that is what builds experience. So you go do things. In our world, we say go figure it around and find out. You go there, you fuck around, and you just find out. And then as the more you find out, the more you are realigning your mental model, the more you are creating patterns in your brain to solve problems systematically, the more you are able to identify patterns.
Correct.
For somebody just outside watching without doing, it is a big, the person is just a commentator.
Correct.
He wishes he can do it right, but when you get in the football pitch, then you find out what the professional footballers are going through it, right? So
because it's easier from the spectator
yes,
side.
yes, definitely. You see everything, but you never act.
Correct.
So it's a learned skill. You can just learn things.
Yes.
Yeah, you can learn things.
So let's also talk about this. Why do some people stay stuck in planning mode while others execute even with imperfect information?
Some people, they have already trained their mind. They have this mental model of taking risk and failing. Planning forever, there is no risk there. So when you plan and you continue planning without executing, there is no risk of failure.
Correct.
But the moment you introduce execution, you bring the probability of either failing or succeeding.
Correct.
And then one thing for people about failure is that they see it as a threat to their identity. People don't want to fail. Correct. I have some engineers I see battle till date. When things go wrong, they don't want to report it. When things go right, they are the first to be in the meeting the next day. And they'll tell you that, I've done this. And I'm telling them.
So the failure is more like an identity issue.
Yes. Failure for many people is an identity issue. So when you are able to understand that failure is part of the feedback loop, is an information for you to get better.
Correct.
You just would not stop planning because you don't want to be at the risk of failure. But for you to succeed, you must fail.
Yeah.
One of the things about business, building products, and maybe doing anything worthwhile in life is that you want to agree with yourself. You want to build a mental model that, yes, I will fail, but my success will be louder than my failure.
Correct.
So you want to succeed more time than you fail. Now, for the first set of you doing that thing, for the first times you are doing these things, you might fail more than you succeed, but just one success would change everything. Because at that point, it's not just about you succeeding. It's about how your brain has been rewired towards doing these things. The experiences you've gained acting and not just planning. The ability to take up task and execute irrespective of whatever the outcome is going to be. And knowing that when the result finally comes out, you are going to take it as an information. So you are not also relenting because you have won. You want to push with that as information and you go for that. Yes, you celebrate, then you move ahead, you forge ahead again. But again, for somebody that is stuck in planning, you do that because you are lying to yourself. You really don't want to get out there to be exposed to failure because that threatens definitely your identity.
Okay, let me divert a little bit. You know, our education system, somehow, you can agree with me, is failing.
Education system.
Yes, our system is, I think, is failing in its capacity to bring out people suitable for the marketplace, today's marketplace.
Yes.
It means most people who are looking for jobs are either less qualified for the roles available, meaning they don't have the requisite skill, or something is missing. So I like to go back in time, or thinking about what we are building today in terms of skills and the people culture. So I like to ask, are we raising a culture of mediocrity in Nigeria today, driven by instant gratification? Because it seems to me that the need for us to get results now is driving a lot of things we do. And if you believe we are raising this culture of mediocrity, who is responsible for that?
Who is responsible? So sadly, we are all responsible.
Okay.
Yes, every one of us. The institutions, platforms like Ulab, myself, playing in the field, building products, and of course, individually, we all contribute to the failure of building people who are not fit to take up this task. And I answer this not from a place of not understanding what people are going through, right? And that is really one of my big points is we are a product of our environment.
Correct.
Right. And before now, I talked about trust. It's a key thing in every human endeavor. I want to ask, do you think the people, the students of this day, do they even trust the education system?
I don't think they do.
So that is number one. Now, secondly, the platforms, the people that have this access to influence them, what do we show? You see, most of us have to flaunt what we have. Have to flaunt the exotic cars, the mansions, our travel pictures and videos. And we never truly share in how crazy it was starting. We don't share those stories. We just want to share the story of, how we succeeded. I told you before Olilifu succeeded, tens of those such products have failed. And they didn't fail just because of the environment. They also failed because of our experience, because we've not worked in these places. We've not worked in any startup, so we're trying to figure out things ourselves. And we also failed because of the institution. When we are in school, what did we learn? What was school trying to sell to us? These days, if you look at schools, what are they trying to sell to us? Are they trying to sell a degree or a credential to you, or they're trying to sell substance to you?
Correct.
People are going to buy what is being sold. So if you are selling credentials that you must just pass anyways, students are going to buy that and avoid the substance. So it is a big problem for them. And if you look at the environment, I tell people that the feedback system is broken. Youths, every one of us, we are rational. We want to follow the incentives.
Yes.
In a society where we have come to have sayings like education is a scam, is a crazy narrative. It's an orientation. It's a mindset that you see people. So some people, students they have to be in school today because it's just the time in their life where they have to be in school. Not that there's anything really that should make them be in school, that they are seeing the need for that substance. Education has a role to play in people's life. I tell my friends that we have to learn. Bro, we have to learn. The only reason I'm sitting here is because I took out time to learn myself.
Correct.
And I also took out time to build people who are learners, who are readers, who are going to read for themselves, figure out things for themselves, so that I don't be the smartest person in the room.
Correct.
Or if I'm even the smartest person in the room, I don't be the only smart person in the room. So it's a problem for all of us to face. Platforms like this, we really need to use it to encourage what is happening. I saw, been following up what is happening in the Southeast.
Yeah.
You know, the whole competition. These things are beautiful. These are ways any education, any society that must thrive, learning the intellectual capabilities, we must build them. We cannot succeed in a society that thinks education is scam, and we cannot succeed in a society where schools are selling credentials or degrees instead of the substances, and students are buying those credentials and avoiding the substances.
Very well said. Very well said. Are we selling the degree? Are we selling the substance? So it's a cool shared issue.
Yes,
Each of us has a part to play.
everyone.
Even the man showing his mansion without showing the substance.
Yeah, we are
The
culpable
failures.
in different degrees. We are culpable.
Now let's deviate a little bit to artificial intelligence. Okay.
I think I like that
Yes.
part.
It's getting a lot of media and workplace attention right now. So what exactly is artificial intelligence? And how is AI going to affect the marketplace, including jobs?
So what exactly is artificial intelligence?
Yes.
Before artificial intelligence, we had electronic devices.
Yes.
And then we have this thing we called computers. Computers today, we have handheld computers, which are mobile phones. We have them in laptop. We have our TVs. We have different smart gadgets at home. They are all in their own way computers, right?
Okay.
Electronic devices that can process things digitally and also store the results. And before now, what we had the definition of computers is it's a garbage in, garbage out. That's the
Yeah.
the every layman's definition of what a
Yeah.
computer is. Then computer science scientists will define it as an electronic device that takes in input and produces output.
Yeah.
Which, yes, of course, is still garbage in, garbage out.
Okay.
But dates back, I think in the 50s, the whole concept of artificial intelligence came up.
Okay.
So, and it came up from people studying that, yes, humans, we are intelligent animals. And then we also have a system, computers, that can process information in a way humans do anyways. Humans process information, this processes information. What if we can create it to embody some sense of intelligence to work the human way? That is the computer, this case now.
Okay.
If we're able to achieve that, it will now be referred to as what? Artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Copying or studying the neurons of the human brain, how it works, and how it can properly be replicated using digital devices like computer. And today we have it as, artificial intelligence.
Yeah. From what they have said, where is this AI today? Where is it being used, and how can it affect, or is it affecting the marketplace, including jobs?
Yes, definitely. AI is not just affecting the marketplace. It's reshaping a lot of spaces today.
Okay.
So it's a big revolution in the human history, and this redefines what work means for a lot of people. For some roles, it redefines it entirely. Here and there, I love building softwares.
Okay.
So even now, while I sit mostly at the board and perform some executive tasks, I still write a lot of codes. And I've seen how this too, AI, has transformed the software company just in 5 months. It transformed it completely. I remember about 5-6 months ago, I had to buy the tool that my engineers are using. I introduced them to AI earlier, but then when I did, I noticed that there was no change. We just kept talking about it. Every morning in our meetings, I had to direct them. Look for one thing that you can do with AI. Then every morning we'll just quickly chip it in. I did this with AI. So for months, we had this report where everybody must say something about what they did with AI. But over time, the value in doing that really depreciated. It was more or less like an obligation rather than an enlightenment. And I really want to enlighten people on the direction we are going to with AI. What is AI and how it really transforms a lot of jobs. So I had to work with the board, and then we had budget for our engineering tools to include AIs. And then when we did that, it transformed, it changed everything. The way we write softwares today, you can find my engineers write 10,000 lines of code with AI without even contributing one line directly. You contribute it just by talking, what we call prompt engineering. So you prompt it, you tell it what it wants.
You write 10,000
lines of code
without direct contribution, just telling the AI what to do.
Last 2 weeks, I started a project for one of my companies. I built a financial accounting system that isn't just any other financial accounting system, but mirrored the likes of QuickBooks, SAPs, had international standardization incorporated in it, IAS, IFRS, and even ISO. All of those in making sure that I built a solid accounting software. I'm not an accountant, but all I had to do is to work with my company accountant to develop a product requirement document. And then I fed this product requirement document to the AI to even fine tune it. And then they started teaching me about the IAS, the IFRS, some standards like ISO 4217 that I needed to incorporate in it. And when it came out, it gave me a much better and robust version of our PROD. And I also I had to send it back to our accountant. And he looked at it and he marveled. It was like, this is good. This is good. I mean, this is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So I went further, fed it into my AI-powered code editor. And then from there, it broke it down to different products, to functional requirement documents. It broke it down to sprints that I have to plan. It broke it down to, reusable, like repeatable tasks that it can perform. And it didn't end there. So when it's done, it took up the task one after the other and executed them. 6 days later, I presented to the team what I've built, and they couldn't believe their eyes. For that company, I have a 5-man team of engineers, hardcore engineers. Only on the front-end part of things, it's going to take those people, or my front-end engineers, at least 3 months without AI to build that front end. And I'm not even sure we'll get it to that level of perfection, because it was giving me industry standard finished products. And I had to do all of that. I'm not talking about even the back end. That product will take us about, no matter how fast we are, 5 to 6 months before now to build with a 5-man team. But it took me just 1 week to get it out. So this is how AI is transforming jobs. So the question is, if you're an engineer, you're a front-end engineer, you're a back-end engineer, do you really, within the last 1 year, 5 months, have you really looked into this space? Have you seen how your job has been transformed? I see tennis engineers on YouTube. They tell me, a year ago, I was a tennis engineer. Today, I'm useless. Because that's exactly what AI is doing. Is redefining your job. It's going to completely eradicate some jobs. While for some others, it's going to transform what it means to do your job. So today, for engineers, for example, it is more or less about how you are able to prompt these AI tools using your experience and domain knowledge and your communication skill. Very important. How do you communicate with these tools clearly without losing context?
Clearly without losing context.
Yes, clearly without losing context. The clarity is very important. So it's a new skill for engineers now to be clear. I was telling my engineers that what we've been doing before now as software engineers, most of our time has been in facing the bottleneck of getting a software out. So I'll take that again. Most of the time we spend as engineers writing codes, the code writing with our ends is more of a bottleneck to get to our results. So no matter how much well we write or how fast we write it, we also have the judgment to make. Yeah. If this satisfies what has been set out or not, then we'll go and then we'll repeat. Every single day, as far as that software is still in use, you keep receiving updates. So you ask yourself, why do all your apps always update.
Yeah.
Right? Because the idea is to always add one new feature to improve what has already been done.
Yeah.
And writing code is just a means to that end.
Okay.
And now we have tools, intelligent machines that can code 1,000 times faster than any human. They can spill out 10,000 lines of code in a matter of minutes. Precisely. They are not just spilling out code, they are spilling out
Precise, correct.
correct code. Because these guys have been trained with millions to billions of lines of code. So they understand this pattern. We're not born to write code anyway. We're not born to write code. We have to understand patterns.
Yeah.
The syntax, you put this and you put this and it's going to work this way, right? And then you figure out things in between. They have trained these guys to work that way. And it's really amazing what the future of job holds. My executive assistant, I looked at her and I tell her, please, you need to start looking for
something to pivot to.
You just have to, because I have tools
that can do her job.
That will not only do our job hard like humans,
will do it better.
Do it better, faster, and it cost me almost nothing to set up. Right. So the leverage for individuals now is so high. You can be a one-man team running $1 million company. You just set these things up, and they run 24 hours. They are not stressed.
Be a one-man team running $1 million company.
Yes, that's the next big thing that we are going to witness. You just set up agents, and this agent take up this task and they run. I have agents that do a lot of things for me. I have agents that read my email, feed me not just the responses, but they're able to connect dots based on past conversations that we have had. Tell me what is relevant for me and what is not relevant. And the most important thing, these tools are meant to recognize patterns without emotions anyway. So it means when it comes to pattern recognition, they don't miss out on anything.
Correct.
For humans, you might be distracted, your emotions might come in play. There are a lot of variables around you that could influence the result you get at any point in time. But these guys are always focused, unbiased, and produce those results. So for results that have to come in that sense, that doesn't necessarily require human judgment, you just cannot take it away from these tools. And this is the future. It's already here. We are experiencing science fiction live.
Science fiction live.
Wow.
Apart from engineers, because your emphasis is more on engineers because you're an engineer.
Yes.
So for the everyday person, the market person, the trader, the marketer, the salesperson, the customer service person, it seems the knowledge of AI they know is limited to text to image, maybe ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. So beyond these tools, how can they refine how to use them?
When AI came in, 2022, when OpenAI launched ChatGPT,
yes,
it was a thing that we had to go to these two to ask questions. They were more or less of an assistant to tell us most times what we already know or what we have experienced.
Okay.
And for the majority of people, millions of individuals to billions around the world, this is how we have come to use these tools. But AI has passed that stage of being an assistant to being a multiplier.
Multiplier.
Yes. And how you communicate with it as an assistant is different from how you communicate with it as a multiplier. If you want the true leverage of AI, you need to set up systems that can run autonomously. You can build workflows that run 24 hours, 7 days in a week, 365 days in a year.
Okay.
But if you don't do that, all you are going to get is open your app, ask ChatGPT, what is this? How do I do this? You are still coming to me, the people. And I tell people, the big leverage of what AI is when you begin to liken this to humans. When you have a really high performer in your team, how does this person work? This person goes sort out information and bring you results.
Yes.
If this person chokes you, I have people in my team that choke me with reports. And I'm like, don't worry, I trust your judgment. This can fly. I trust your judgment. This can fly over time. That is the true leverage. That is where people should be thinking about it. So for customer support, for example, most of the issues customer support face are coming from wrong products or wrong marketing. if you're always solving a problem, let's say your customers are complaining about one particular thing. Why is this packaging like this? And then the next big thing to attack is tell the customer support to call this person and apologize. And you keep repeating that you are not finding the root cause of it, right? So, but with AI systems, even way from the manufacturing, is already detecting these problems. Or it reads through, even when humans are in the loop to answer these questions, it's going to read through frequently asked questions and provide answers to frequently asked questions. Answers that will solve the root cause of the problem, that will eliminate the root cause.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be in the loop of let's keep human busy here because we know we're going to have these problems and they will come back together. Doesn't mean that we don't need humans, that you can build a perfect system. Definitely not. But even today, we have AIs that can work 24 hours, replicate themselves to hundreds and thousands, and make call on your behalf.
And make calls on it.
Yes. And the speech system for AIs today are very good.
So replicate themselves.
They replicate themselves. So before, humans say things like this: I can't divide myself. But the leverage that software brings, and now amplified by AI, you can actually divide yourself. So you create the system replicates itself. Just the same thing you have with system. You open a bank app, and that bank app you are using it, 1,000 other persons are using it at the same time. Just making a copy in people's phones, communicating to a central system, that is high leverage. Now imagine when we now have a system that is not just garbage in, garbage out, but has some sort of intelligence to even make decisions, to tailor whatever that is going to support, that is going to provide to a customer, to that particular customer, based on the analysis it has done real time about that customer's information, to be able to access your information and tell you that, okay, this is what this customer needs and this is what we're going to do. It's not about canned messages of bots that we used to see today. This is real intelligence, real time. And it almost costs nothing to do when you compare to the traditional ways of actually doing these things or running these systems.
So if you are 22 today in Nigeria or anywhere emerging,
I'm not 22 anymore.
Yeah, I'm just assuming.
Maybe what if I'm 22?
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you build an unfair advantage for yourself? So let's say you are 22, because most graduates in Nigeria on average, they are between 21 and 22.
Yeah.
So let's say you are that person fresh from school. How do you get started to build an unfair advantage for yourself as quickly as you can, regardless of any challenge you might have?
Yeah, so there are a lot of ways to do this.
Yes.
I would mention a few. So one of the first things you need to do what does it mean to build an unfair advantage is to, at the end of the day, build a system that can work for you without your necessarily having your involvement all the time. That's an unfair advantage for you in the future. When you look at your environment first, what do you see? For most of us, what we see is problem. What needs to be solved? I've been in very good countries. You still see the citizens complain about something. So there's always a problem everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And then the next thing is, how are you approaching that problem? Are you seeing it as a problem you should always, complain about or provide a solution? If I'm 22 today, I want to still recalibrate my brain to be a solution provider.
Okay.
If it is not already. Or I would try as much as possible to amplify how well I can systematically provide solutions to problems within my environment. And the only way to do that is if I have a skill.
If I have a skill.
Yes. If I'm 22 today, I'll probably be gunning for people that have resources and access to work with, to gain experience. I will not be interested in making money. Yeah, some people will say, well, you need to eat first. In most of the cases, at 22, as a Nigerian,
Yes.
22, you find yourself just wasting away 60 to 70% of your time.
I agree.
That is what you do. Instead of you to waste that, learn a skill. There's a reason the Igbo entrepreneurship trend,
Apprenticeship stuff.
it succeeds a lot because you have to learn a skill right in that space.
Yes.
you have a sort of safety net that even your mistakes and the mistakes of your boss are being absorbed by the business.
Correct.
But then you also watch your boss, you watch the people around you make tough decisions, and you are there long enough to witness the outcomes of those decisions.
Correct.
Were they successful or they failed? You get to learn without losing anything.
Correct.
Just learn. So at 22, I want to learn. In Nigeria, I want to get all the skills. I want to get skills that will put me on a global stage. So that even if your environment does not favor you, you can push way forward. You don't need to just do what people are doing. I tell myself, people, my staff, most of them, especially my engineers, my nickname is world class, because I tell them we must be world class engineers. Whatever they are doing in Francisco, whatever they are doing in London, we will replicate it here. We will do it here. And this is not just saying it. It takes a lot of effort. We must learn it. And there must be an enabling environment I also would create. I'll try as much as possible in the midst of the chaos, create an environment of learning. You can truly learn. Trust me. Learning is one thing in today's world where you can just get access to it anywhere. It's one of the things AI brings. It brings access to information and knowledge quickly. So instead of you searching how to create just things by using, why not learn real skills of how those things are done? Build on them. Build on them very well. Then the next thing you look at is your surrounding, the people around you. It is very important. You can be in the most chaotic environment and also build another environment around you. Where do you spend most of your time? Who do you spend most of your time with? What do you listen to? Way back in school, I'm so grateful that, yes, the school environment, one of the things it provided, because I had this curiosity to build with computers. I was doing it from phones.
Okay.
Then I met some guys in school and I'm like, these guys are 100 and I'm just around 2. It was a beautiful thing that I had that environment.
Yeah.
And there's one thing about creating your own environment. I tell people, you can be somewhere and still not be in that place. There are some things
you can be somewhere and still not be in that place.
Yes. If you allow the environment, if you go into a place and you allow that place to shape you, it's definitely going to shape you. It will have all the effect on you. But if you go somewhere with the intention of building your own environment, we will use the same roads, but we are not going to the same places.
Interesting.
Early enough, then I started visiting cyber cafes because I know this is where I will find computers.
Yeah, in the early days.
Yes, but this is my house, and maybe a stone throw is one PlayStation center, another stone throw is another PlayStation center. I do visit PlayStation centers anyway, but you will see me 9 out of 10. You'll find me in the cafe. And that is where I met people. That is where I got time. I spent more time with computer to understand how this machine works. So your environment is critical. Your environment. Then you have to also be around opportunity. They host conferences. Go to conferences. Talk to people. Talk to the speakers. Tell them where you are, what you are doing. Just really. That's one of the places you can easily find them or communicate with them. The rest of the time, you can't get access to them. But when they're out there, you meet top people who you want to be like. You can meet the person. And of course, there are cameras everywhere. So the person they'll give you their time. Just one thing that you will take out from there can change your life. So you must build that environment. You must have a skill. You must have something to do. You must, at every point, you are not open of what to get, but the value to give. And when you give enough value, you will definitely get something.
I think that this your last line even corresponds to the theme for the International Women's Day celebration.
Wow.
It says, give to get.
Yes.
So when you consistently give,
you will definitely get.
You will get back,
Yeah.
pressed down, shaken together in multiple folds.
Yeah.
Mr. Chuks, thank you so much for coming. I think my head is like jam everywhere. It's loaded with information and knowledge. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's been an honor having you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.